Today I am celebrating the fact that the Morphe 39A palette is now back and it's in their permanent collection now. This is what the palette looks like. It came out around Christmas time, I don't know if you remember, but the colours in here are so nice, so much choice. This colour was just, it stood out to me so much and I really wanted to use it. This is the makeup look that I came up with. It's just perfect for summer, really, really nice, attracts a lot of attention. People will notice it straight away and ask you where your eyeshadow is from. If you want to see how I did this makeup look, keep on watching. I've already primed my eyes and I've done my eyebrows. I'm going to go into this shade right here first. Use any of the transition shades that suit your skin tone. So you always put the transition shade in the crease, just above the crease as well. When I do it, it seems to get everywhere. And that's totally fine because we're going to put colours on top. And what this will do is it would make the colours blend in perfectly nicely because I'm going to start off nice and light and then darken it up. Also, when I'm getting to the ends, I'm sort of flicking it upwards and outwards just because I don't want it to be a very round eye look. I want it to be quite dragged out. Next, I'm going to go into this orangey shade here. I'm going to place this orangey shade right in that crease. I'm going to pat it on first, start off really light. I find that when you pat it, you sort of get it where you want it, place the pigment on, and then you can start swiping. Again, I want to flick this one out as well. I don't want it to be very round. But I'm also going to bring some eyeshadow down here, just so, because when I put the red shimmery shade on the lid, I want there to be some orange all around it. These eyeshadows are very pigmented, so just start off little and then build it up. So this is what the eye looks like so far. This is the amount of patience I have to blend eyeshadow. Now, onto my favourite bit. I can now go into the reddy pinky shimmery shade. In the pan it actually looks quite red on my finger as well, but when you apply it, so I'm going to apply it with my finger first because this is how you get most, it just comes out more pigmented, whereas when you do it with a brush it's really light and it takes longer to build up. It's a really nice colour and it's so bright and beautiful. You don't have a lot of control when you do it with your finger, so I have now coated the brush with the colour and I'm going to take the Vitamin E Hydrating Mist. This is by Superdrug. Just a spray on each side, and then I'm going to neaten this up just around the edges where you can see there's no eyeshadow. If you use the eyeshadow dry, it's not as pigmented, which is why I wet the brush with the hydrating mist. The MAC Fix Plus is really expensive, so I'll rather use a cheaper hydrating mist to wet the brush. This is what it looks like so far. I'm going to grab more of the orange shade and blend out the edges, especially this edge here. I really want this bit to be blended out nicely. Right, so I always get carried away and I always forget to do this, but I feel like this orange shade is too high up on my eye, and the 39A palette doesn't have a shade like this, like a bone colour that I could use on the brow bone. So I'm going to use the Carly Bible palette, grab a clean brush, and I'm going to place this bone shade on the top just to calm that down and bring it lower. That's so much better. It's blended it out a lot better because it was just a big orange mess. So it's blended that out, it's muted it down so that my eyes don't just look like it's blown up. This is what the eye looks like so far. I'm just going to do these steps on the other eye and I'll be right back. So the reason I've done the eyes first is because there is some fallout of the eyeshadow. It falls underneath, so I'm just going to give that a wipe. I hate using makeup wipes though, like my eyes are kind of burning. I'm going to prime my face using the Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm. It's just like the most affordable, brilliant primer. It's not meant for priming, obviously, it's a shaving balm. But they always have like offers on this. They always have it on sale, especially in Wilko. And you get it for like £3, which is just crazy, and it's normally like £5 anyway. It's really good at making your makeup last long because of the ingredients in this balm. For foundation, I'm going to use the Maybelline 24-Hour Stay Foundation. This is in the shade Ivory. One pump on the back of my hand. I'm going to coat the Beauty Blender. I prefer using the Beauty Blender because it gives more of a skin-like finish. I'm not a fan of using a brush all the time. It depends on the foundation. You need to make sure that your beauty sponge is damp. So make sure that you keep squeezing it underwater and it expands. When it expands, it just gives a more softer, smoother finish. If you use it dry, then your foundation is just going to look dry and cakey on your face. Sorry if you can hear any noise, it's because we've got builders in the house. We're getting our bathroom done. And I really need to pee and we only have one bathroom, so I'm just trying to distract myself. So that one pump of foundation managed to cover my whole face. I have a tiny little bit left and I'm just going to use that to blend the foundation down my neck. And I like using a brush for this bit because it's just easier and it's quicker. For concealer, I'm going to use the Maybelline The Eraser Eye Concealer in the shade Light. This is my favourite concealer and I'm nearly finished, so I'm like, I have to get a new one. I do have a lot of redness around the nostrils, so I'm going to put some around the nostrils. I'm going to blend this all up into the eyes with the damp Beauty Blender because it just looks so much more flawless and natural. It just meshes everything together. I'm quickly going to set the under eyes with the RCMA No Colour powder. I've emptied this powder into a little box just so it's easier to use. The reason you need to set your under eyes is because, just with a brush, tap off the excess and really focus it on where your concealer normally sinks into the fine lines and the wrinkles. If you set it, then it won't sink in and it won't crease. You don't need a lot of powder as well. The smallest amount of powder can set a concealer or foundation. At this stage, I'm going to move back to the eyes. I'm just going to use the orange shade on the bottom. I'm not going to use any other colours. Let's just keep that simple. I'm now going to take the Ofra highlighter in Rodeo Drive. This is my favourite highlight. And I'm going to use this to highlight the inner corners of the eyes. And I'm also going to highlight the top of the brow bone. If you drag your highlight down, it will make your eyes look more droopy, like more lower. So if you keep the highlight nice and high at where the arch is, it will help lift your eyes. Just while I am here, I'm going to highlight the tip of my nose. Next, I'm going to use the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. Do you know what? I'm just going to line it. I'm not going to do a wing for today. So I'm just going to stop where the eyelashes stop. I'm now going to use the Essence False Lash Effect Mascara. This is only, it's around £3 from Wilko. And it's really, really good. It was recommended by a friend and I really like it. I always tilt my head back and I look really funny, but it's because I don't want the mascara to touch my eyelid. But this is how sorry, I know I look funny, but... Now, if you carefully apply mascara onto your bottom lashes. Those are the eyes done. You can apply false eyelashes if you want, but I am so rubbish at putting false eyelashes on that I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm happy with the way it looks. Now onto the face, I need to contour, I need to add some warmth to it. And for that I love to use the NYX Wonder Stick. This is in the shade Medium Tan. It has one side to highlight, but I don't use that side, I just use the contour side. I like to warm up the forehead, especially up here. And the edges here, and then obviously the cheekbones just underneath that cheekbone. I'm going to try something new. I'm just going to get a pencil brush, coat it with the contour shade. I feel like I'm going to be rubbish at it, but just to contour the nose. I wonder if I should try the NYX highlighter side. I need a skinnier brush. This one, to be fair, is quite creamy, so hopefully it'll work. Let's just give it a go. I'm going to leave that there for a bit. I'm just going to use a brush. This product blends out better with a brush, and I do a patting motion. It's like little flicks, but more of a pat, just to mesh that in there. And the reason I pat is because I don't want to disturb the foundation underneath. Also, when you pat the product, you're less likely to move it up or down, because I want to keep this line right here. If anything, blend it up, but I don't want the line to drag down. Let me try the Beauty Blender and see what happens. Oh, it's working. I want to apply the contour shade under here, because this it shortens your nose, the length of your nose. Now I'm going to take the Makeup Revolution Ultra Bronze bronzer, and I'm going to set the areas that I've contoured, as well as warming up my face as well, just a little bit more. And I use a really light hand. Whenever you use a cream product, you always need to set it with a powder, just so it doesn't move, and it just makes it last longer. I don't like to contour my jawline with a cream. I like to do it just with powder, so I go in with the bronzer and just soften that jawline, because my jawline's quite chiseled. The Milani Baked Blush in Luminoso is my favourite blush. Gonna pat that on the apples of the cheeks, and I'm gonna bring it towards the bronzer as well. I'm gonna go back into the Ofra highlighter in Radio Drive and put that on the cheekbone. With any leftover product on my brush, I'm just going to put a little bit of highlight just above the arch of the eyebrow. I'm just going to go over all of that with the Beauty Blender, just to mesh everything in, just so it doesn't look like 3 different products on my face. So I don't know if you can see, but this one is more blended in than that one. It's only a slight difference, and you probably notice it on yourself rather than on me. Moving on to the lips, I'm going to use the lip liner that I always use. This is the LA Colors lip liner in the shade Natural. I'm going to take the Ofra highlights on my finger, just a tiny bit, and put it on the Cupid's bow. When you highlight the Cupid's bow, it makes your lip look like it's got a natural pout. It makes it look a little bit bigger. I have overlined them a little bit as well, just a little bit. A friend of mine recommended Kiko lipstick, so I went and I bought the Velvet Passion matte lipstick in the shade 302. It's such a beautiful shade. Even though it's a matte lipstick, it feels really creamy on the lips as well. Finally, I'm going to set the makeup with the MAC Fix Plus. This is the lavender one. If you set your makeup, it just won't budge, and it just meshes everything together. Give it a good shake first. You can use the Vitamin E Hydrating Mist by Superdrug to set your makeup. This is a lot cheaper, but I prefer the mist of the MAC Fix Plus. It's more like a mist. This one is a mist as well, but it's a bit more spittier. That feeling when you take out your ponytail. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you like, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Woo! Just burnt myself on that light. Lovely.